Yes, my name's Daton L Fluker.
And so we're interviewing you on your recently released novel. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful today.
Well, could you tell us a bit about your novel?
My new release novel is called Death Walkers Biological Wasteland. It's about a rap star, which is me, um, that lived in the 21st century, and he gets thrown into the future, 2,000 years into the future, and he becomes a superhero basically, and he has to save the people of the future. He has to fight his way through zombies and cannibalism. And in 2015, I die, and I get reincarnated. Well, actually, someone made a clone of me in 2,000 years in the future, and they wanted to know if they can bring someone's soul back to life. So when they bring my soul back to my body, I I retake the clone's body. So um, later on in the future, I find out that I'm not in the 21st century anymore, that I came back to the future, which is um, now just a pile of garbage, and everything is destroyed, and the world is just made into like this wasteland. And these zombies that they will kill everybody. They killed everybody, and everybody's living on like these bases. You know, they're living on these bases. And when I the thing about my character though is that the zombies cannot attack me. They don't attack me. They don't see me because my body and my blood was designed with zombie blood and also with my DNA. So that's how they brought my soul back, because they needed to bring me back from the dead. And the scientists that was looking for someone that can, they was looking for a cure, that they got all these different DNA types from people in the past, and they wanted to mix it with zombie blood so they can cure the zombie virus. But instead of curing the zombie virus, they just found a way to reincarnate someone in their own body. This is Daton L Fluker, and I'm about to read the synopsis to Death Walkers Biological Wasteland, and I'm going to do it in my scary voice. Death Walkers Biological Wasteland. The future of Daton L Fluker is a scary place. Death Walkers Biological Wasteland is one scary novel. This futuristic thriller takes readers 2,000 years into the future, when the world dead has no real meaning. It is said that when there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk again. In the year 4009, the world is in ruins, decaying even as the atmosphere slowly withers away. Garbage is piled a mile high, and the smell of the walking dead can burn a hole in your lungs. Daton L Fluker is a 21st century rap star who is brought back to life in the 41st century as a clone. But Daton L Fluker is different from the millions of other clones. He is the chosen one, the only person predestined who can bring guidance, hope, and a new life to the people of the future. But can he do it? Daton L Fluker is the Death Keeper.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Okay.
Thanks.
So that's Death Keepers Biological Wasteland.
You can get it from Barnes and Nobles, or you can get it from Amazon.com. The link to my website is www.deathkeeperworld.com. You can also check some of my hard writing novels that I'm working on my WordPress blog. That's www.wordpress.com/horrorwriter. Yeah, so you can check some of my work out there.
How long have you been writing?
I've been writing ever since 2006. My first novel was Finished Cries. It was actually a novelette. Finished Cries is just about a guy named John Muller, and he wants to protect his family, and he becomes situated with a fighting ring in Louisiana. The fighting ring is how he feeds his family and how he survives. So one day he comes home and his family is murdered by the serial killer. So the serial killer, he chops off his children's head, and he murders his wife in cold blood, and he also rapes her in front of him. So basically, it's just about a book about survival and revenge.
You've worked in horror for your whole career in writing?
I have been doing horror, but most of my horror novels are similar to action thrillers because there's a lot of complex information in them.
Okay, so you've been writing for quite some time, and you've been writing only in Japan, you were saying before.
Yes, I only wrote in Japan before. When I was in the States, I never really wrote about my books. I started writing because of my college. I was making really terrible grades in school, so I decided that I would like to get into writing to help my editing skills. There's two different personalities that a writer has. It has the creative writing skills, and also it has the editor writing skills. And these are two different type of personalities. So one creative person can write for hours and hours and hours, but then you have your editing personality where you have to only sit back and correct all your grammar problems. So I only do it because I like writing and to help me with my school.
Mm-hmm. So what brought you to Japan originally, Daton?
I was in the military and I wanted to get a job as teaching the English here. So I became an English teacher here in Japan, and also I'm a college student.
So as a writer in Japan, are there any pros and cons that you could talk about?
Well, there's not really any good pros and cons of being a writer in Japan, but there is the nice environment that you're always in, and the different places that you can go to write your books, like coffee shop. My favorite place is to write in Starbucks. So, just looking at the scenery itself, like the big buildings in Sagaragicho, that's my favorite place to hang out. I like going to Sagaragicho maybe twice a week or 3 times a week to do my writing, and sitting down, drinking some coffee. And also I like going to watching movies at Warner Michaels movie theater. I would go watch a movie like twice a month or 3 times a month. But recently, because I've been going to school online, I didn't have time to go to watch the movies that I like.
So why the horror genre? Why did you choose horror?
Well, I thought it was a curse when I was growing up. I thought my aggression and my anger, and I used to get into a lot of fights when I was a little, but I thought it was like a curse because a lot of people, I used to get into a lot of fights, and I have some people in my family that went to prison because of their aggression against society and society, the way we grew up. And I always thought it was something bad, but I decided to change my personality and just write what I believe that I should write. It's all about who I am, and I think it's a gift from God. It's not a curse. So if I write it down in the book and I show everybody how much aggression I got, that they can really understand what I'm trying to do with my writing, and they can understand me.
So becoming a writer, has that really changed your life, and it's been a very positive source of inspiration for you?
Oh yeah, it helps me out when I'm teaching grammar skills to some of my students. It helps me out with my college. It helps me out with writing my books, basically, because An editor, a real good editor, cost almost $2,000 for to edit one novel. And if I can do these editings on my own and I can edit my own work, that saves me money. That helps, people look at my work and they don't see all these mistakes. And it's just, helps me a lot.
So how do you feel seeing your own book on the stands or on Amazon, for example?
Oh, I feel so great. I feel grateful about those books being out there. When my book came in the mail and I hold my first copy in my hands, I was just very thrilled to just see my book, finished. And seeing it on Amazon.com and Barnes and Noble bookstore is just so magnificent. It's just great.
Do you have any advice for writers, want-to-be writers or upcoming writers?
Well, I would like to tell writers that it's not all about writing and it's not all about your imagination. You have to finish your work. But on the other hand, also, you can't just think that this is going to be the project that's going to get you the $1 million contract. You're not going to get a $1 million contract. You have to basically work yourself up to that point. So going to school and getting your college degree and getting a nice job, and so you can have some time to work on your personal projects. That's what you need to do. That's what I've been doing since I came to Japan, is trying to get my college degree. And the best thing to do is to work on your personal life and have these types of ideas or concepts as your basically have this as your hobby. Have them like a hobby or something. Okay.
Okay. So do you have any upcoming writing projects, some future novels that you're thinking to get into in the future?
Well, yes, I have 2 novels that I'm working on currently. One novel is called Substance, and the other one is called Camelot Dimension 360. Substance is about hell, basically. Hell is turning over and angels are brought to hell to have war in the depths of hell because they need to save the millions of souls that are trapped down in hell. So this angel, he goes down to hell and saves these many different people in hell. And then, whoever has this sword is the keeper of hell, is the general of hell. So if they take this sword, they command all the evil things in hell. So the angel, when he goes to heaven, not heaven, he goes to hell. He takes the sword and he travels to earth with the sword, and he has to hide it somewhere on earth. But whoever holds the sword on earth will command all the evil creatures on earth. So you have to be careful. The angel has to be careful, or whoever has the sword or who can get to the sword have to be careful not to hold it, because if they do, then earth may turn similar to hell.
You talked in more detail earlier on today to me about the plot, and it's a very interesting plot. It's very interesting. So as for your other novel that you're planning to make?
The other one is called Camelot Dimension 360. You can read copies of it on my WordPress blog. I have it up to chapter 8. It's kind of rough, but it's a world that's 50 times bigger than Earth. It rotates on its axis like every 50 years. So one side of the planet is in ice, and the other side of the planet has vegetation and life. So it's just basically a world about survival. You're surviving in a world where you have to constantly move. So every 50 years, you have to go to these different checkpoints. And, if there's one side of the planet that doesn't have food, that doesn't have life, and one side of the planet that has life and all the food, there's going to be a lot of fighting and competition for that food and those resources. So it's just basically a story about survival. Love also has some love scenes in it, and also it has some horrifying scenes in it also.
Daton, do you have any projects that you'd like to work on in the future that are non-writing related? Some other form of entertainment maybe?
I would like to get into acting. I always wanted to, be an entertainer with the acting circle. I would like to work with a company like DreamWorks or even an upcoming movie company that, I can show everybody that I have other different type of skills besides writing. But, you have to start somewhere. You have to start writing, or you have to get into entertainment somewhere. So I would like to get into that acting or something like that in the future.
You were talking earlier on about possibly mixing the imagery of zombie novels with rapping. You had a project in mind. Could you talk a little bit about that for us?
Okay, yeah. I wanted to get one of my songs that I created in 2008 called iPod Life. iPod Life is just basically a mix of a lot of different things that was happening in the world, and the name itself gives it away, iPod Life. Just think about living in an iPod, and technology is changing and people are changing with technology. So I just wanted to put that together, my song that I created, along with some pictures of zombies, because the book Death Walkers Biological Wasteland and iPod Life are similar. I actually created that song to promote the book with. So that song is inside the book. Some parts of that song is inside the book.
Is there anything else you can think of that is you want to talk about regarding the books, or regarding you, or regarding life in Japan, or anything like that?
Well, right now, I have a blog where I'm trying to get together with other writers, and this blog, anyone can join it if they want to be a writer, or they want to know how I'm doing with my writing. And all you have to do is just go through, read the things that I'm writing about, and fix the editing, and you get your name on one of my books as the editor. I have a couple of writers who are with me now that are helping me with my writing when we write projects together. So if we get enough people writing and get enough people with putting more ideas out for the books, we can write a bestseller between all of us. So I just think it's best to work in a team environment for a writer.
And what's the contact details for this blog? How can we get hold of it?
Just email me. My email is datonflukers@live.com. That's DATONFLUKERS @live.com.
And other contact addresses, or any other way to get a hold of you, to talk about any kind of projects that people may have to discuss with you?
Okay, so you can go to my webpage. My personal webpage is www.deathkeeperworld.com. You can go to that webpage and get in contact with me from there, because I'm always updating it. And also I have my Facebook fan page. My Facebook fan page is www.facebook.com/Daton L Fluker, DATONLFLUKER. And also I have my personal blog, and also Twitter. I have many different types of contact. You can contact me on Twitter. My Twitter is Daton L Fluker. No, I'm sorry, Daton Flukers. Daton Flukers. You can just search for my name, Daton Fluker. And also I have my WordPress. Just search for horror writer, horror_writer, and you can get to my weblog.
My leg's gone to sleep. I can't feel it. I've got a zombie leg.
I'll put you in my new book.